But yeah, going to read a little bit from The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. It's been a very inspirational book for me as I am trying to understand creativity so that I can do it even better, do even more of it. Because I am trying to discover something new, express something new, which tends not to be very financially viable, but that's what I want to do. Usually someone else makes money off of what someone what someone discovers. Anyway, neither here nor there. Let's get into the reading. Connected detachment or possibility. He writes, consider detaching from the story of your life as it's happening. The manuscript of the novel you've worked on for years is lost in a fire. Your romantic relationship breaks up when you thought it was going well. You lose a job you care about. As hard as it may seem, seek to experience the events like these as if you're watching a movie. You're observing a dramatic scene where the protagonist faces a seemingly insurmountable challenge. It's you, but it's not you. It's you, but it's not you, he writes. Instead of sinking into the pain of the heartbreak or the stress of being laid off or the grief of loss, if practicing detachment, the response might be, I wasn't expecting that plot twist. I wonder what's going to happen to our hero next. There's always a next scene, and that next scene may be one of great beauty and fulfillment. The hard times were required setup to allow these new possibilities to come into being. Yeah, I think that's like such a huge insight that I hope hope folks can learn in an easier lab than I have, which I guess is the point of sharing this book, trying to share some lessons that can help other people have their lives be just a touch easier. It's like, as he says, like in the first chapter, we're each creating the story of our life. Even if we're not an artist like a painter or an artist like a musician, we're each still creating something, the story of our life. And I feel like he's kind of coming back around to that arc of this is the story of our life. What's going to happen next? Something bad just happened. What's going to happen next? What do we want to happen next? Maybe we wish that didn't happen, but what are the possibilities for what can happen next? He writes, the outcome is not the outcome. The darkness is not an endpoint, nor is the daylight. They live in a continually unfolding, mutually dependent cycle. Neither is bad or good. They simply exist. This practice, of never assuming an experience you have is the whole story, will support you in a life of open possibility and equanimity. Okay, what's equanimity? I mean, it means equa means equal, anonymity means spirit. Look up. Mental calmness, composure, evenness of temper. Oh, okay. This practice of never assuming an experience you have is the whole story will support you in a life of open possibility and equanimity. When we obsessively focus on these events, they may appear catastrophic, but they're just a small aspect of a larger life. And the further you zoom back, the smaller each experience becomes. Just like on movie night on Friday, DDLJ, that quote that Obama quoted when he visited India, in big countries, small things like these happen. Zoom in and obsess, zoom out and observe. We get to choose, he writes. When we reach an impasse, we may experience feelings of hopelessness. The ability to stay out of the story, zoom back and see new pathways into and around a challenge will be of boundless use. if we allow this principle to work on us as we work on it, our imagination frees us from the web of personal and cultural stories engulfing us. Art has the power to snap us out of our transfiction, open our minds to what's possible, and reconnect with the eternal energy that moves through all things. That was short and sweet. Just saying, when something bad happens, zoom out and treat it like a story or a movie you're watching. And what would you want to happen next? What is this the setup for? What are the possibilities? And he's not saying don't zoom out, or he's not saying don't zoom in and obsess. I think that can be an important part of healing. But there's other things to do other than zoom in. And I think that's why, one of the reasons why I'm so excited about creativity, because I feel like seeing more possibilities, being open to more possibilities, is healing for me and healing for other people too. And yeah, this chapter is a nice kind of summary of why I share this book with folks, why I make time on my stream to talk about this book. And we're still building. But it is in the middle of pushing the first layer, the first image. Let's see, do I have a story where I zoomed in or zoomed out and chose something different? I guess we talked about that in episode 1 of season 5. Do I have a story from my life? Some of them are a little personal, the ones that come to mind right away that I'm not sure I'm quite ready to share yet. This is my thinking face. Well, I guess to put it practically, one sort of tidbit, one little morsel, a way to say this more in a zoomed in way, is if you're making a decision, try to think of 2 alternatives. And then you know your decision that you do make is at least better than 2 other options, no matter which one you choose. Now, earlier on stream, we were making a decision. We only had 2 options, and I was kind of stuck between the 2. We ended up picking one, and I think it's fine. I just, I guess I didn't even follow my own advice earlier on stream. Because I guess what I also noticed, especially when I'm feeling stuck between 2 decisions, is the third decision sometimes incorporates the concerns of both sides in a way that just choosing one of them doesn't.